Alright guys, let's get into this deck profile. Before we really get started though, this is the most random deck profile you will probably ever see. I play this deck in Master Duel whenever I get bored. And you know what, it's actually kind of funny that it is able to win games, I'll say. It is a very slow deck, and I think even in the TCG, probably wouldn't do very well. And as you guys can probably tell by the fact that every card in this has a different sleeve, I didn't really feel like putting everything into sleeves of the same color because, like I said, probably never use this deck in real life, but it was something that I thought of that I wanted to maybe just see or test out in terms of taking it from Master Duel to the TCG. This is kind of the build here. Starting things off, triple Ash Blossom, triple Nib, triple Ghost Bell, triple Ogre, and then one Veiler. In Master Duel, I play 3, and there are some ratios in this deck that have to be different because Master Duel has a different list in terms of banned cards and unbanned cards. So pretty much the entire point of this deck is going second, stalling your opponent, and then setting up spells or traps to either break their boards or stop them on their next turn. And then you either link climb or get into Xyz plays, which I'll show later on as well when we get to it. But that's the main gist of the deck. 95% of this deck is hand traps or interruptions or just kind of disruption plays. I know there's better ways to get into it, but right now this is a really fun deck that I play from time to time in Master Duel. Bestial lineup, I have one Magnemite because it searches dragons, and then you have double copies of Baldrake. I would put this is supposed to be Druid Worm. I just got really lazy, and like I said, guys, at the beginning, I just got really lazy with this deck and didn't really want to go looking for them. But this should be at least one other Druid Worm, if not 3. Baldrake is still good as well. Comes up in a lot of different scenarios where your opponent activates an extra deck monster effect, and you can basically just negate it with your Baldrake, which is fantastic. Magnemite being at 1 in both Master Duel and in the TCG really does suck, as this basically gets us into our main win condition, which I'll show off later on, guys, which is searching out Nebula Dragon and using its effect to get into your rank 8 Xyz. But then for more interruptions, we have 3 Kaijus. So I have the one Gameciel, the one Godarla, and the one Raiden. Basically, the thought process behind this was if my opponent has something on the field that can or will negate one of my plays, what I want to do is use one of these guys to get it off the field. Usually it's the Gameciel or the Godarla because they are lower attack points than your Raiden. You tribute off their monster, so special summon this to their field. Then you special summon one of your Kaijus to your side of the field. It has higher attack, so you're at least able to crash into your Kaijus with either one of them. And then you can still go from there. There are really interesting lines of play with this thought process as well, depending on what you have on the field or what you have set up. So, I mean, having this in your deck is kind of interesting. You don't really want to play more of these guys, because if you have more in your hand, they do become dead cards. So I think one of each is fine, and you can also supplement whatever you want in terms of these for any of the other Kaijus to suit your strategy. I just picked these 3 because 1, they're some of the most common, and 2, they have relatively decent attack and defense stats. So in a pinch, you can always, like I said, tribute off a monster with one of them, and then summon another to your side of the field and go from there. And then moving on, I am playing a DPE package this Celestial definitely should be Denier. Like I said, I didn't really want to go looking for too many cards, so I just put Celestial in instead. And even though its draw 2 doesn't come up very much, it is also a normal summon, random normal summon if you ever need it, which is totally fine. But the only reason this is in the deck is because of DPE. And yeah, that's all it's really explained. And then last 2 monsters, this is our main win condition here. You take Nebula Dragon, reveal it and another level 8 normal monster, another level 8 dragon monster rather, in your hand. Special summon both. So I usually just do this play, special summon both in defense mode. And then I go into my extra deck in terms of our level 8 plays. Make Draglubion, and then depending on situations, make another extra deck monster. But that's it for our monsters, guys. Like I said, there are some ratios that would change if all the cards from Master Duel were legal in the TCG. Kind of glad they're not. Makes this deck, I don't know, just really interesting. Moving on to the spells, triple copies of Fusion Destiny. You need 3 in this deck if you want to see a DPE. With the fact that Verte Anaconda is banned in the TCG and not in Master Duel, you really want to see this as much as possible, because you can't just make a copy of Verte and then use its effect to copy Fusion Destiny and summon a DPE, which is what I do in Master Duel if I don't hard draw Fusion Destiny. And that's the only reason that I would play the Verte Anaconda. And then, like I said, this is mainly a going second deck, so you want a bunch of going second cards. Triple copies of Raigeki, double copies of Dark Hole. Again, this was to fill space for some cards that we don't have available to us in the TCG, but we do have in Master Duel. So double Dark Hole, 1 Duster, and then 1 Change of Heart and 1 Called By. Called By definitely helps you out in this deck because you can basically make sure that some of your plays go through. Not like you're going to be doing a whole lot with this deck anyway, but that rounds off our spell count, guys. Very simple, and I mean, you know, it is what it is. This deck, not really competitive, it's just a fun, random deck that I wanted to make. Moving on to our traps, this is where your protection comes in. Triple copies of Mirror Force and triple copies of Magic Cylinder, just as more stall cards. I know there's better cards in the game, but I really like these cards, and you know what, they're staples for me in just about any sort of deck that I can use them in, and casually especially, but just in any sort of like makeshift fun deck. I will try my best to put at least one of these in the deck, just to have some fun, and your opponents don't expect it 9 times out of 10. And then the last card is a copy of Solemn Judgment, just a single copy. Again, mainly the only reason I have this at 1 is because I have it at 1 in my Master Duel deck, because there's other copies. But I mean, you could play 3 theoretically and cut back on some of the hand traps, or cut back on some of the other traps and fill it with some other stuff. But that's a 40 card deck, guys. And let's move on to our extra deck. This is a 12 card extra deck right now. Kind of filled with just a whole bunch of 1-ofs. The 1 Zeus, don't go into it a whole lot, but you do go into it sometimes, especially when you're going off of your Draglubion play. Like I said, Nebula Dragon with the blue eyes, summon Draglubion, then you make something else, it attacks, and then you can special summon Zeus, or, you know, I think you have to wait a turn because I don't think you can special summon after that. But then you can make Zeus on your next turn, which is fine. I mean, it's always a like board wipe consideration. The 1 Access Code Talker, don't go into it too much because it is a Link 4, and the fact that Link Rebo is banned in the TCG really hurts my deck. when I'm playing with 3 Veilers, because Veiler is your only level 1 in the deck that you use. Usually, if you have no other plays, normal summon it, make Link Rebo, and then, go from there. Like I said, this deck probably not going to do very well in terms of the TCG, and it takes a lot of setup, so, take it with a grain of salt. The 1 copy of DPE, like I said, Fusion Destiny into DPE instead of Verte Anaconda. Sometimes this can win you games if you just constantly have this recycling, so, kind of have to have it in the deck. And then this is where the fun really begins with this specific package of Double Hope Harbinger, the 1 C107 and number 107 Galaxy Eyes, followed by the number 97 Draglubion and the number 100. Like I said, guys, in conjunction with Nebula Dragon, you go into your Draglubion, which can detach and special summon an Xyz monster from your extra deck, basically just ignoring its summoning conditions. And then you attach, so you basically target 2 monsters in your extra deck, so target Hope Harbinger, target whatever, your number 100, special summon this copy and attach this to it as material. And then this is the only card that can attack this turn if you use this effect, which kind of sucks. I'm sorry, let me just read this real quick. And also for the rest of the turn, you can't special summon other monsters, which does kind of suck. But I mean, hey, it's whatever. This gives you our OTK possibilities, because you normally go into Neuron Dragon with a second copy, or with the second copy of your Titanic Galaxy. Detach this. This gains attack for every Xyz monster on the field. You're guaranteed to have at least 2, which gives you enough, puts us up to 9,000, I believe, and gives you enough to go for game. And so that's why this is the only reason this package is in here, is to basically try and push for OTKs with these 2. This is a Spell Negate, which is fantastic as well. And then these guys don't really come up too much, but it is good to possibly have a 4,500 attack monster on the field. Or just having a Tachyon Dragon, which can detach and negate every monster's effect on the field. Currently at least, which is also really good. Helps you stall for time and just, push through other interruptions your opponent might have. But like I said, guys, that's basically the bread and butter of the deck. And then lastly, we have a Link package, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, and 1 IP. Without having Link Rebo in the deck, though, it does kind of hurt, because you can't just use Link Rebo as Link climbing material. But being able to pop or send or just have a quick link into a Unicorn is totally fine as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the extra deck and this deck profile. There are changes that I would make. Like I said, playing 3 Veiler instead of 1. Changing out the Baldrake for Druis Worm. Couple other things, but this deck isn't very good, and I'll be the first to admit it. This is probably the most random deck I could think of, or at least one of them. But I just wanted to showcase you guys this on the channel, and who knows, maybe I'll take this to a locals, see how I do. Probably not going to be very well, and then get back to you guys with some sort of results on that. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, ring the notification bell. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.